Hey guys, so to start off this look, I'm going to be moisturizing as always, and you guys can use whatever moisturizer you have and whatever works best for your skin. Next is primer, and I'm going to be applying this primer all over my face because I really feel like I needed a smoother canvas. Next is foundation, and here I'm just going to be applying this all over my face and then taking my beauty blender to push it onto the skin as usual. And then I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown full coverage brush just so I could avoid the foundation lines and to make the finish more seamless. Next is concealer, and I'm using my favorite concealer as of the moment, and this is the Naked Weightless whatever concealer. And here I'm just going to be taking my ring finger to blend the product over my under eye area, and then I'm going to be using the same technique that I used when it came to my foundation a while ago, and I'm going to be taking the beauty blender to do just that. Next is I'm going to spot conceal because it was like that time of the month, so I had that like one annoying pimple on my cheek and it was so big I just had to spot conceal it. Next is baking as usual, and I'm going to be taking a wedge sponge and I baked the usual areas that I want to avoid creasing. And here I'm taking an eyeshadow primer, and this is the one from HARDCANDY. And then I'm going to be setting that primer with my banana. And can we just take a moment to appreciate this palette from MORPHE? It's just so freaking beautiful. So here I'm going to be taking my first shade as my transition shade, and that's the orange one, the lightest orange. And then I'm going to be taking another shade, which is a darker orange, the one at the corner, and I'm going to put that right above that orange just to darken it up a little bit and to give it more depth and dimension. Next is a light brown. I'm going to be applying that right on top of the two orange shades just to make it a little bit darker and warmer and not a bit too light because it's a bit overpowering, both of the orange shades. Next is I'm going to be applying the red matte color onto the lid. The thing about this eyeshadow look is everything is matte for a change, because I usually put shimmer, at the lid, on the lid, so it's great for a change. Next is I'm going to be taking one of the darkest browns, and I'm going to be darkening the crease a little bit, like a notch, because I felt like everything was a little bit too orange, and I really was okay with it, but I felt like it would be too bright under natural light, so I just had to do it. Next is brows, you know the drill, but this time I'm taking the dual brow powder kit from Anastasia, and this is in the shade soft brown. By the way, if you guys can hear like little footsteps, in this recording, that is my dog walking around, and you can actually hear him. So yeah, here I'm just gonna be doing the usual technique that I do, but after that I really felt like it was quite like pale. Not pale, a bit too light for my face and my hair. So I'm gonna clean up the edges with a concealer from MAC, and then after that I actually applied the ABH pomade in chocolate off camera, and then I applied a clear brow gel on top of it to set everything in place. Next is bronzing. I'm just bronzing, I'm not contouring because I don't know, I just didn't feel like contouring that day. So here I'm just applying it to the areas that I want to warm up, basically, the drill. And then after that I'm also going to be contouring my nose with the same brush. I'm just sort of like squishing it to make it a little bit more narrow. Next is the prettiest blush ever. This is the one from HOURGLASS, and it's just so pretty. Kind of pale for my skin though, like it doesn't really come out as much, like it's not as pigmented, but I think that's how it's meant to be, I'm not sure. Next is the highlight girl, and here I'm using my favorite everyday highlight, and this is the MAC Soft and Gentle, and here I'm applying it to the high points of my face, like my cheekbones, my chin, my nose, my cupid's bow. Next is I'm just really finishing up the whole eye thing, and I'm going to be taking all the shades that I applied to my eyelids, my crease, the whole upper area, and I'm going to be putting that onto the lower area, like, my lower lash line, to make everything more seamless and to connect everything up and to give more dimension to the eye. Sort of like emphasizing the shape of the eye. And here I'm not using a nude eyeliner, but instead I'm using a black one to make the eyes a little bit more sharp and fierce. Next is eyeliner, and I'm using the one from Maybelline, and on top of the Maybelline I'm actually going to be applying another eyeliner, and that is the one from MAC, because I feel like I'm really running out of the Maybelline one, so it wasn't really coming out as much. It wasn't as black as I wanted it to be, so I really had to use my MAC, and I actually don't like the MAC one alone. It's just so messy and hard to apply. So here, this is the MAC one, and as you can see, I'm just really going over the Maybelline eyeliner that I already put on my eye. I'm just basically making it darker, and I wanted more pigmentation, so that's why I used the MAC one on top of the Maybelline one. Next is highlighter, again, you know, in my inner corner, my brow bone, and basically everywhere, because you gotta glow, baby girl. Next, I'm gonna be curling my lashes with my Face Shop curler, and I'm gonna be applying mascara, and I'm using the one from Too Faced, and it's just really good. But for the lower lash line, for the lower lashes, I'm gonna be using my favorite mascara, which is the one from Maybelline, because the wand is really small, so you can really get into those tiny hairs on your lower lash line without making such a mess. Next is, I felt like the blush was a little bit too pale, like a little bit too white, so I applied a pinkier blush on top of it to make it a little bit more pink, basically. That's what the blush is for, duh. Next is false lashes, and I'm using the one from Forever 21, and there's no name for it because it came in a set of 5, and I don't know, there was just no name for it. Here I'm just fixing my weird hair and applying my favorite fave matte lipstick from MAC, which is WHIRL. It's just so pretty, and it makes your teeth look really white, so that's a bonus. And here I'm just straightening my hair, though there was really no need to, but I feel like I really needed the extra straightening because my hair was a mess.